7:20 on a Sunday, Boston, Massachusetts.
Guys, I got some news, some terrible news. We got a huge problem.
I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
What the hell is a podcast? What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis.
Heyo, and welcome to the Always Sunny Cast. I'm your co-host Eric,
And I'm co-host Ross.
and this is a podcast where we
Analyze, Eric. Not everything is sexual.
we analyze Always Sunny in Philadelphia, scene by scene, episode by episode, just to get at the heart of what makes it so funny.
That's right, one ass at a time.
One, Ross, this is a great episode. This is really
This is a
good.
lot of fun.
Yeah, this is so
It's almost
fun.
triggering for me because I feel for Charlie
Yeah, I
being
get it.
on online dating apps.
I get it. Me too. Yeah, definitely. And I'm so excited because we have a special guest today helping us break this episode down.
That's right, not just any guy, though.
Yeah. We told him we'd get him on the podcast probably before we started. Probably before we
Yeah,
started
like-
the podcast.
5 seasons ago.
Yeah. And we finally have with us, hailing all the way from Stearnsy Gaming, it's Anthony from our improv team.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. This is awesome.
We don't get to see you in real life anymore, so this is as exciting as it could get.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love it.
So, Anthony, what is your relationship with Always Sunny? Do you watch it regularly? When did you first stumble into it? What's the deal
Have
with
you ever
and
seen
Always
it
Sunny?
before?
When it first came out, I think I was in high school.
Yeah, probably. It sounds about right.
I saw it on TV, and I saw the episode where somebody bought the building, and they tried to burn the building
The
down.
gang goes jihad.
Bag
yeah.
of poop.
The gang
Yeah.
goes jihad. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever saw. And I was just like, this is a show I can watch.
Nice. Do you watch it regularly? Are you all caught up to date? Have you seen them all?
I haven't seen them all. I know.
You pop in and out?
Yeah, I pop in and out.
No, whatever. We take all comers there. As long as you watched this, you did watch this episode, right?
Yeah, I watched the one that they're in Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Then you did watch
Yeah,
it. All right, good.
Of course. And they're in a bar. Yeah, I know.
Well, Ross, it looks like you got your checkered hat on and your pipe, so it looks like we're ready to jump into this, huh?
All right, snap a good one.
He's trying to attract intelligent women.
Today we're talking Season 5, Episode 5, The Waitress is Getting Married. Original air date is October 15th, 2009. Written by Charlie Day and Glenn Howerton. Directed by Fred Savage. And Ross, what is that IMDb breakdown?
Dee discovers that the waitress Charlie is obsessed with is getting married to her ex-boyfriend and plots to derail the wedding while Mac, Frank, and Dennis try to get Charlie back on the dating scene.
That's wrong, because Frank is not helping.
Kind of doing like a...
He's helping
if
D.
anything. He's more or less just hooking up with Artemis this whole episode.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
helping Artemis in this.
They're
one.
helping each other.
Yeah, he is. He's sort of just hanging out. He just kind of just is wherever he is. I guess Artemis is helping D, so
Yeah.
Frank's tagging along.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, Frank made her feel like a Cobb salad, so.
But that's true. That's true. It was Frank's idea though to get Charlie in the dating scene again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he
that's-
was
he
Frank's
kicks
idea.
that off. Interesting he doesn't follow through with it.
Yeah, he doesn't follow through with it at all. And this episode came out in 2009. So Ross, I know you got to tell me something that was going on in the world in 2009.
2009 fact, Grindr launches, focusing on gay, bi, and trans people.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And I was going to talk about this later, but I guess we might as well just say it now. Have any of you two online dated, or have you guys signed up for any of these websites or anything?
I'm on a few.
Yeah, oh yeah. My profile is very similar to Charlie's.
Really?
It's just sweat.
So made up and fake.
Snowboarding.
Yeah, I snowboard, yeah.
I briefly signed up for OkCupid back in the day, and the only person I ever met off it was my ex-girlfriend, who went through a divorce and was on it, and she saw me on it, and we messaged a little bit, and we went out for dinner. And that was it. That was the only person I ever met
well,
off.
you're a lucky guy then. You don't have to wade through all the swiping and the ghosting and all those things.
Yeah, well, I know I've had some of that, some ghosting and stuff that happened to me like while I was dating
Mm-hmm.
before Katie, but yeah, no, I've been gone for so long now that it's like,
You'd be dumbfounded to go back.
I've been off, like, I haven't dated in so long. I had a Tinder date, and she was dropping heavy hints like, let's just go back to your place. And I'm like, yeah, no, my room's a mess. I don't want to go back there. Like, and plus, we're eating food right now. Let's just order more food. Let's get dessert. She's like,
Let me get this straight. You were sabotaging yourself?
Yeah, that's how bad it was. That's how bad I am at dating.
Okay, I thought you were, like, not having as good of a time as her, and you were, like, deflecting.
No.
This is, like, your instincts were to do the opposite of what you should do.
Exactly.
I have some of that in me, too. I can't seem to take a hint or know how to pass one on.
Exactly.
you know what I just realized? I don't give a shit about what either of you two guys are talking about.
Thanks.
You guys ready to?
Thanks, Matt.
You guys ready to jump into this?
You're the one that asked.
That's funny.
All right. So it's 12:30 p.m. on a Saturday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dee is trying on wedding dresses at a wedding dress store when she runs into an old boyfriend and his fiance, the waitress. You got anything on? Let's get the people in the scene out of the way. Do you have anything on the employee here of the dress place?
Yes, she actually has a name. Lucy.
Oh, Dee does say, "Why don't you just go get the dresses, Lucy?"
Yeah, which is funny because it like just further establishes the long-running relationship that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucy is played by Nassim Pedrad. She was born 1981 from Tehran, Iran. She was in Will Smith's Aladdin, New Girl, SNL, Mulaney,
nice.
Mindy Project, Curb, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wow, a lot of comedy.
Yeah, a lot comedy heavy. Yeah, for sure.
And what do you got on Brad?
Brad Fisher is played by Nick Weschler. He was born in 1978 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was in Roswell, Malcolm in the Middle, Without a Trace, Revenge, and This Is Us. Oh,
right. Well, this scene starts off here, and this dress is doing nothing for her arms, and it's making a mess of her boobs.
Making a mess.
That's how she phrases it, making a mess. I gotta say, the dress looks great on her. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I think she looks pretty great.
And apparently, the person here, Lucy, is like, I'm going to see, she gets kind of fed up, and she's like, I'm going to need to see proof that you are getting married, which is pretty bold of someone to say.
Yeah, I would say so, too. We learned that Dee's been going here for the past year, was it?
You know what this made me want to do, but I didn't do it because I was like, this is kind of work heavy, and I don't feel like doing any work, but you know what? I was wondering what episodes take place on a Saturday within like the past year of episodes that we saw.
Oh,
so
yeah,
Dee
and, like,
was
lining
coming
them up
from or went to
fit that into her schedule. Like, at what point did she go to the dress store during that day?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's been going there. So why is Dee doing this?
I have no idea. It's some weird, sad, desperate thing that she's doing. I don't know what her end game is.
So yeah, so Dee is basically so when she gets called out on this, her excuse is that it takes a long time to plan a wedding.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how long does it take? I looked it up and it said 10 months to 2 years, but
yeah.
I'm sure you could do it in any amount of time you wanted, really.
Katie and I was supposed to be married a couple months ago, but then,
Yeah.
obviously we put it off because of the pandemic. And
Well, how long
but,
did it take you to plan that?
probably about a year and a half, something like
A year
that.
and a half.
Most of the quote-unquote planning is just saving money. It's like trying to find money to do this.
Oh.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's like
I don't think you know what planning is.
It's just like, well, Katie and I were essentially just going to throw it's like a party.
Yeah,
we're not doing like
right.
a church thing.
A party in the park.
Yeah, it was just sort of we're going to like a celebration. I love Dee's phrasing here when Lucy's getting on her case, where she says, "Don't get up all over my balls, Lucy."
Yeah.
Dee's very sassy this episode.
Dee is very sassy. But Lucy gives it right back because she wants to know when. When is the wedding?
Soon.
Where?
A church?
A church. Which one?
The nearby one.
Nearby where? What street?
Spring.
What's your fiance's name? What's her fiance's name?
Sam.
What does he do?
Salt.
He's a salt seaman. He dives into the sea for the seesaw, and
Dee
then
was
we eat it.
Dee had it, man. She had it, and she just lost it there at the end. Like she was going. Like,
Yeah, she was doing good.
yeah, she was running along pretty good, and then yeah. Oh man.
We do a thing like this in improv where we'll make someone just come up with another answer, another explanation, and we deep dive like that. And this is an example of what would happen on stage. Eventually, you watch that character devolve.
Yep. They just crumble.
Oh yeah, because you as a person can only think of so much.
Their brain just melts right before you.
Well, Lucy's like fed up with this, and she's gonna go get the manager.
I thought it was very weird. She started to get undressed. Like right there on the sales floor, she was taking the dress off.
She didn't even wait to go to a changing room.
Yeah, she starts to kind of get. Well, maybe she's just trying to get out of there because she knows she's gonna get in trouble, so she's gotta go.
She probably knows the manager. Yeah.
She does.
Oh yeah, it's true too. Yeah, but yeah, Brad comes over here and he recognizes her, and it's Brad from high school.
Yeah, Dee right away just goes for it. Mm-hmm. You look amazing. Your acne cleared up very well.
She's into it.
She like touches his chest.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, pets his arm.
In a very strange way. She does it again later on too. She does the same motion.
She swipes
It's like a swipe.
Up, down.
Yeah, it's very strange. And we get some backstory here about Dee breaking up with him.
Mm-hmm.
They used to date in high school apparently.
Dated hard.
We talk about it all the time, but we're building to the high school reunion. Like we're actually like I love how they're establishing this high school life they had. You know,
it's more is coming to light and seeing who went to high school where, and like even later in the episode, we find out Artemis is like in the mix. She knows all about this.
We'll talk about Artemis later because Artemis is we'll talk about Artemis's how she knows that bit of lore later on. Yeah, because it's strange how she interjects that. But Dee apparently broke up with him because she said that he was going to look like Edward James Olmos. Are you guys familiar with Edward James Olmos?
Edward James Olmos, American actor born 1947 from Los Angeles. He was in Battlestar Galactica, both Blade Runners, Selena, Stand and Deliver, Miami Vice, and Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mainly know him from Battlestar Galactica. He's great. He's the captain on that show.
He doesn't look that bad.
No.
Yeah, but he looks like he's like pockmarked. He's like famously pockmarked his like face.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like.
I mean, he's a handsome man. I mean, like.
Yeah. Why is she taking a shot at Edward James Olmos? Why is he gonna get hurt in this?
I know that was almost personal.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's all right.
And obviously Brad here thinks that she's getting married.
Yeah, and Dee's like, no. I mean, what other? She doesn't even come up with the reason why she's standing there in a dress.
Well, she said she was, but it didn't work out.
Yeah,
but like she's still there. Like,
but you wouldn't be there wearing a dress after the fact that it got canceled.
Yeah. And he's having he's saying that he's having a non-traditional wedding, a small non-traditional wedding. So, you know, he's there and his fiance's trying on dresses. He knows he's not supposed to see him or whatever it is. And he starts calling over his fiance and over walks the waitress.
Oh my God.
She almost says it in like you're doing this to me.
Yeah,
You're
there's
like
a little
personal.
bit of that, almost like shock too. Like she can't understand these two worlds coming together.
I like the waitress's reaction. She
Yeah.
just doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
Like,
Waitress isn't
Yeah.
happy to see Dee either.
she is upset.
And then we get the title card. The waitress is getting married, which is one of those title cards that is kind of true. She was getting married.
Actually, not really. I mean, she was.
Well,
Brad never had intentions.
she thought she was getting
Yeah.
married, I guess we should say. So after the opening credits, in Patty's, Charlie, Dennis, and Mac are trying to get what they think is a bee's nest down as Dee comes in and brings Dennis and Mac into the back room. So it starts off here with Charlie poking at this like nest thing in the corner of the bar.
Why is there a nest in the bar? Like how?
Yeah, you gotta think you would notice this being made at some
Yeah,
point.
like, that just shows like severe neglect.
Yeah,
Severe neglect, for sure.
And he's poking at this thing, and they're like, you know, be careful, you don't want to agitate the bees, but he's not worried about the bees. He's want to agitate the honey.
Yep. or whatever goodness they're keeping in there.
That's right. Yeah, he's got this like idea that he's gonna crack it open like Winnie the Pooh or something. Like, what does he think he's gonna do?
Well, he does say he wants to keep it in the basement, and that way they'll always have honey in the
Yeah,
basement.
that's right.
Like, what kind of?
Yeah, that's right. They won't have honey. What they'll have is bees.
Yeah.
That's such an Occam's razor response.
And I
Yeah.
also like the fact that they were like, "Oh, we're just gonna throw it in this box. Just hit it into the box, and we're just gonna
Oh,
box
man.
it."
I mean,
Yeah.
Even the people that think Charlie's dumb are just as stupid.
Yeah.
And then Charlie thinks he sees a wasp, and this is interesting here where he sees a wasp. They establish that it's a wasp, but then after this they call it a hornet for then out throughout the episode.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, was that just like a small error, or?
Well, I think what it was is they thought it was a wasp, and then they clarified when Charlie said it's hornets. They're hornets.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's right. You're right.
I get some info here. Ross, did you look anything up on hornets and wasps and bees and
I
stuff?
know they're all different, but I mean,
Yeah, but like, do you think if like a wasp and a bee was flying around, you could tell the difference?
yeah,
me no.
I can for sure.
I don't think I could. But I do have I have a list of differences here. Bees are fuzzy. They pollinate. They eat pollen and nectar. They're gentle in nature and rarely sting, and their legs are usually hidden when flying. Wasps, on the other hand, have little to no hair. They eat other insects. They eat human food. They're aggressive and ready to sting, and their legs hang down. And a hornet is essentially is like a bigger wasp in some ways. I think what I've read between the information is wasps are a little more ready to sting you than hornets, but hornets still like super aggressive. They're way more aggressive than bees and shit. Like, and hornets and wasps, I didn't even know this, but hornets and wasps, they can just sting you all day. Like, they can sting you as many times as they fucking want it.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't care
They
for
don't-
Like,
that.
bees get that one shot.
Yeah,
Bees
they-
get that
they
one
take
shot,
that.
so you almost think, like, okay, it's got one shot. It's not going to wait. It's, it'll hold off until it absolutely has to. But, like, wasps and hornets, they'll sting you. They like it.
Yeah, they don't
Wow.
care.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a little bit of an interesting read about them. But I think flying around, they more or less look the same, except for hornets and wasps are bigger.
Sure.
They're bigger and they look angry.
Yeah. They have furrowed brows.
Yeah. He sees a wasp, right? And Dennis and Mac are out. They're like, okay, we're done. We're not messing with no wasps. And but Charlie wants to know, are they able to make honey? They can make honey still, right?
Nope.
They can't?
And I love how,
This is
like,
so. You just can't give up on it. Are you sure though?
Yeah, Dennis is like, no, it's a fact that they don't make honey. And Mac's like, why are you arguing with him?
Well, yeah, that's later on in the apartment when they bring it up again about the thing. Yeah, they're like, why? Yeah.
Well, there could be something delicious in there that wasps do make, and Charlie's interested in that.
You know what though? That's a great example of if this is true, what else
Right.
is true? I mean, an insect that's like it, a bee, they're pretty close.
Right.
They make honey. So why wouldn't these guys make something else?
I mean, when I was a child, I thought the same thing. So
yeah, I mean,
they look the same.
it's-
Why wouldn't they? Like,
They make trouble. That's what they make.
It's true. Yeah.
yeah.
And Dee comes in. She comes like storming in, and she wants to talk to Dennis and Mac, but only in the office because it's something private.
Mac's not into it.
Yeah, they're not interested. Yeah. It doesn't sound
Just
very
like-
interesting. We're kind of doing our thing.
But then Charlie gets stung, and that's when he's like, "It's a hornets. These are hornets," or whatever he says there. And then they're like, "Yeah, why don't we just go in the back?" Like they're just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, let's just get out of here anyway."
Take the high road.
So inside Patty's back office, Dee, Dennis, and Mac walk in on Frank talking to his booty call, and they discuss what to do about the waitress being married.
He's a bad boy.
Frank's been a bad boy.
boy.
He is talking about food in inappropriate
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he hangs up the phone, and they're kind of like, what the hell is that? And he says that he that's his booty call, and they got this weird food fetish thing going on.
Which is interesting. I mean,
Very interesting.
Yeah. And it's funny because Dee's kind of like, let's put a pin in that. You know, she's kind of like, okay, like that's weird. We're gonna talk about that, but we have to discuss the waitress first.
It's so subtle and awesome.
Yeah, the waitress is getting married, and Frank heard about this from Artemis.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
is that interesting?
Yeah, it's funny because like those two aren't connected yet for everybody. Like those two, like Frank's booty call and Artemis. So it does sound.
But also, how is Artemis connected to the waitress?
Well, you gotta imagine maybe she went to high school with them too.
You know, I looked up on the wiki, the Always Sunny wiki, about the high school, and Artemis is listed as like in the nebulous. Like she's like they don't know if she actually went to high school with them or not, but she seems to know like lore. She seems to know things about them and their high school stuff that it seems that way. But Dennis didn't know her when she was auditioning to work at the bar.
That's true. Oh, with the Coyote Ugly thing.
Mm-hmm. Coyote Ugly.
She seemed like she was a friend of Dee's from acting class is kind of where she came from.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's strange. Like, I think it'd be funny if she didn't go to the high school. She just knows all about it. I think it's funny.
She's just like town gossip.
Yeah, she just, like, knows.
She's like the person that knows everybody and everything about them.
And this is where we find out that Frank's booty call is Artemis. And I love the pairing of these two together going forward.
Like weird and weird.
Yeah, oh yeah. And like how they're on again, off again. There's just something about this. It also keeps Artemis around, which is awesome, like for other reasons, you know?
Yeah. And I think she's like kind of justified being with Frank for his like growing insanity. I mean, he just got off
and she's
with the snail, you know what I mean, prior. Like,
That's
it's
true.
like it is snowballing.
Who's
to that.
mashing it? Yeah, you're right. And Artemis is nuts. Like we've long established Artemis is wild.
She's a crazy child.
Dennis asks an interesting question here where Dennis wants to know who cares? Like, why do you care? Like, who cares if the waitress is getting married?
I know.
I love that reaction. I loved it so much.
And because the waitress has been nothing but trouble, and she doesn't get our sense of humor, which is so
right. It is
funny.
wise of Dennis to point that out, to be like, well, what is your real end game here?
Yeah. But the idea of like he doesn't like her is because she doesn't get their sense of humor. Like they don't have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's true.
They're horrible people. They're all like
horrible.
very selfish, and like they immediately know that D is in like doing it for selfish reasons as well.
They're so
Totally.
in tune with each other that they're like, no. Dennis calls her out, and he's worried that the waitress is gonna she's worried that the waitress is gonna get married first. But then it's cool how Mac puts in like, no. I think it is because Charlie will kill himself, and D will be stuck doing all the Charlie work. And the brilliant thing about this show is it's both. It's
Right.
both that she's getting married first and she's afraid Charlie will kill himself and she'll have to do his work. It is exactly what they think. It's so brilliant of this show.
Oh, yeah, that's so good. I thought I saw it as an improv scene where Dennis was playing the straight man. And then Charlie, Mac was like, oh no, Charlie's just going to go insane. It's clearly obvious. And then Dennis is like, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like they just went straight to crazy town.
They actually use the phrase going postal.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that one?
Of course.
Oh yeah. The post office shooting.
It looks like you have some information to tell us.
Oh, no, yeah, I do. I just Googled it real quick. I mean, it's not deep dive information, but going postal is an American English slang phrase referring to becoming extremely and uncontrollably angry, off to the point of violence, and usually in a workplace environment. The expression derives from a series of incidents from 1986 onward, in which U.S. Postal Service workers shot and killed managers, fellow workers, and members of the police in acts of public murder.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like a craze. I remember that.
Yeah, I feel like when I was very young, that was like more popular.
So that term, that term came about.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually one of my favorite Terry Pratchett books is called Going Postal, and it's about a guy who like makes the first kind of like post office in this like medieval Dungeons and Dragons type of world. It's awesome.
Oh, wow.
It's a comedy book. It's hilarious. But yeah, Terry Pratchett, going postal. So yeah, so that's what they're worried about. Like, so that's what Dee and all of them are worried about this, because Dennis realizes he doesn't give a shit what Dee is talking about, but he is worried about Charlie going crazy and killing both him and Mac.
That's right. They're always worried about themselves. I mean,
Yeah, it really stems from stuff. They are truly not worried about Charlie's feelings at all in any way whatsoever. Is this about Charlie or anything?
no.
Not one bit. They don't give a crap about Charlie. They're happy he's dealing with the Hornets.
Yeah, or like, look at it this way: like, a character deviating from their norm scares the other characters because it throws the dynamic of like a lot of things
Yeah,
off. I think
yeah.
so. I think they're all constantly pushing each other back into their normal state of being
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
in some way.
you're very right. I didn't think of that, but you're right. Any sort of deviation from the plan really, really throws them, like, gets them nervous that their way of life is going to
Yeah.
change. Yeah, you're right. And this is what Frank has a great idea. Get him a booty call.
I mean, it's working well for Frank right now.
He seems happy.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, I mean, get his mind off the waitress. Yeah, like, get him a date. Yeah, I mean, sure. But this thing with Mac, like, or at least another chick to stalk. I mean, that's not good.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's not great. I drew a little sad face next to that note. So yeah, and then, but it's funny because Dennis goes like, yeah. Dennis gets like more excited about that than the booty call. Like, that makes more sense than the booty call. In the meantime, Dee's gonna do this thing where she's gonna sabotage the wedding and get Brad away from the waitress. She like trying to pretend like she's at all helping or has anything to do with them.
Yeah, I like how she's like trying to like come up with this subplot of the plan.
Yeah, like this is part of the plan.
But it's not really part of the like they're not interested in that angle.
Don't embarrass yourself. Don't
Yeah, they really shut her down.
Save yourself the embarrassment.
And when they sneak out of the back room here, you can hear the hornets buzzing around in the bar.
Yeah, and you can hear Charlie, I think, yell.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like into the next scene, they're directly in his apartment.
Yeah. This is just some time later, I guess.
I was gonna say, when he's in his apartment, they managed to box the bees.
Well, at least Charlie must have maybe did it himself. I don't know. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. So then, at Charlie's apartment, Dennis and Mac come over to help Charlie set up an online dating profile.
Heyo!
Hey, what are you doing there, buddy?
I'm trying to smoke these hornets to death so I can get their honey. They keep flying up in the tubes, stinging me all my face. I think I just swallowed one.
As I tried to explain before, you cannot get honey from a hornet's nest.
I just don't think there's any science to support that, buddy.
There's some very basic science
No.
out there supporting that. Trust
No.
me, pal.
Okay,
it's
what-
actually a
okay,
fact.
why
It's
are you
not
even bothering
science.
getting
I don't
into it
know.
with
I
them?
just
All right,
feel
Charlie,
like.
we're gonna get you back on the dating scene, bro. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's actually why we're here. We want to put your profile on Match.com.
I don't see why. I got the waitress, guys.
Yeah, right.
Sure,
Yeah, totally.
right.
But we thought maybe you could meet somebody new.
Yeah, someone you like even more than the waitress. Well, I don't see how that's possible, but I tell you what. Let me pop a quick H on this box. This way we all know it's filled with hornets. Okay?
Okay, yeah, do what you got to do.
These things sting like a bitch,
Okay,
man.
first thing we got to do is we got to take your picture for the profile. So,
Yeah, so do you have the makeup?
yeah.
Oh, no makeup. Come
Well,
on.
those
Every
hornet
time-
stings are pretty bad, buddy. So I think we're
but
gonna have
I
to.
am who I am.
Right, but
Yeah,
let's do who you
Let's
are minus
pretend
the
like you're
hornet
not
stings.
who you are and just try to attract a woman.
I tell you what if I wore a checkered hat and I smoked a pipe? That work.
Why would you want a checkered hat and a pipe?
You know, for the Sherlock Holmes look.
Why would you want to look like Sherlock Holmes? Who are you trying to attract exactly?
Intelligent women.
Okay, I'm just gonna take the photo right now without the makeup and see if he likes it. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, that felt good. Was that sexy?
That
That felt sexy.
We'll Photoshop it.
Yeah, I can see where this is going.
Yeah,
let's
we'll
just
just
not
Photoshop
do
it.
that right now. Let's
You want to
let's
take
talk
another one?
No, we'll find another picture that we can use, and that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your likes and dislikes. How about your favorite food? What would that be?
Oh, milk steak.
What?
Milk steak.
I'm not putting milk
Just
steak.
put steak. Just
I'm gonna
put
put
regular
steak.
steak and then that
Don't
way
put
it's a
steak. Put
compliment.
milk steak. She'll know what it is.
No, she won't know what it is,
She'll
Charlie.
know
Nobody
what it
knows what
is.
that is. No. Okay. All right. What's your favorite hobby?
Magnets.
Okay, what? Like making magnets, collecting magnets,
Playing with magnets.
Just magnets.
I'm gonna put snowboarding. We'll put snowboarding.
I don't really snowboard.
All right. What are some of your likes?
Ghouls.
Son of a bitch. What are you talking about
You know,
now?
funny little green ghouls.
What? Like in movies and cartoons? What?
Little green ghouls, buddy.
Don't write ghouls.
I'm not. I'm putting travel. Jesus Christ. What are your dislikes?
People's knees.
Oh, come on,
Bro,
dude.
you
Come
gotta
on.
be kidding. You know what? We'll just make it all up.
We'll make the whole thing up.
We'll
Let's
dock
get
the
out of
picture.
here.
We'll make it up.
We're not even gonna use you for this.
Cover your knees up if you're going to be walking around everywhere.
This scene is so funny. This is like this establishes so much.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down so many quotes that Charlie was saying when they were asking him questions. I was like, these are all fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is like this dialogue. This whole scene is incredible. Like even starting off with we get a hey yo from Mac. I feel like we haven't heard one of those in a while.
I know. Hey yo in the door. I love that.
And Charlie has this contraption going where is that a cigarette he's smoking? A cigar? Yeah. Like it looks brown, right? But small. He's smoking something.
Yeah. What is that?
I'm not
That's
sure.
Very hard to identify. I don't know. I just thought it was maybe like a rolled cigarette. But
yeah, maybe it
I don't
was.
know.
And he's got this box set up, and he's got this tube duct taped into this box, and he's smoking out these hornets. And do you know this smoking thing? What, like how you smoke a bee or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yeah. They do that to collect honey. They smoke the bees out. The bees don't like the smoke, so they get away, and then they take the honeycombs.
And I guess what the smoke does is it also like interrupts like bees have like this like a hive mind type of thing that they do, and
Yeah,
like
they
a
send
swarm
signals to
thing.
each other.
The smoke interrupts it, so they can't really communicate with each other or something. Like they kind of like get dazed. It stuns
confuses
them.
them.
Yeah, it confuses and stuns them.
It's basically like us losing the internet right now. Like we'd be like, what do we do now?
It's me
Like-
not being able to play Call of Duty for 5 minutes. Yeah. I know. So, and I looked it up though, and you can smoke hornets and wasps, but it doesn't work as effectively as bees. Because like some hornets and wasps, sometimes they can work independently. Like they don't always need bees need to kind of swarm or something, and hornets and wasps can kind of like act on their own. So they kind of like if they'll see you like through the smoke or whatever, they're gonna sting you and shit. So it's not as accurate. But
That's
he's not. You can do what he's doing, but he's saying he's smoking them to death. Is what he's trying to do. Is what he said. Is what he
He's
said.
gonna smoke himself to death before he smokes them to death.
Yeah, he's smoking them to death, which I don't know what he means by that, or why he doesn't kill them some other way. Like you smoke them to take the honey out.
To like
Right.
get them
But-
away.
To get them away, yeah, enough to get the honey out. So but he's smoking them to kill them, which I don't know what what that accomplishes for him.
Well, he swallows a bee. Like he's like, I think
He
I
does swallow
swallowed a bee.
one. He does-
That's true.
that would suck. I would freak
God.
out.
That reminds me of. Have you guys ever seen Anaconda? That old '90s movie with
Long
LL
time ago.
Cool
With
J,
Jennifer
I think?
Lopez, the Jennifer Lopez vehicle.
Yeah.
The guy got stung in the neck by a bee, and they had to like cut the bee out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Like I
Thanks
was,
for telling us that.
like, whenever I think of
Crazy.
bees, that's what I think of, and I'm like, why did they cut it out? There's so many other ways.
Charlie's looking for honey still, he's saying. He's looking for honey here. And Dennis is like letting him know, there's no honey. We told you this. But, I don't know. I don't think there's any science. I don't think there's any science to support that.
I love this response. It's not even science. It's a
Yeah.
fact.
Like, what a
It's not even science. It's a fact.
like if you ever want to aggravate somebody, that is such a funny thing to do. Like something that's saying, yeah, but I don't think there's any science to support that. Like something so obvious. It's so fun. And Dennis really does get upset here. Mackie, he gets so upset that Mac even kind of stops him.
He's like, why are you arguing with him? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're there to set up a profile for Match.com, and so that he meets someone that he likes more than the waitress. Because he's like, why would I do that? I have the waitress.
Which I thought was hilarious. Like he's just like, I
Yeah.
don't need to look for anybody. I got the waitress.
Yeah.
Yeah, a woman that hates him.
Yeah. And he's just going to pop a quick H on this box so we all know what's in it. And
do what you got to do.
I love that. Yeah, they're just like, okay, they're like, they don't know what to think of him, So the first things first, they're gonna take a picture.
Oh, the picture was so good.
And I like how we subtly mentioned the makeup thing.
Yeah, they want to put makeup on him because of the hornet sting.
Yeah, they're pretty bad looking.
But Charlie says this thing that kind of stuns them when they're starting to argue with him about the makeup, and he just says, "Yeah, but I am who I am."
I am who I am.
And they're kind of like, they don't even know what to say. They kind of, I like when it stops them in their tracks almost. They're like,
yeah, he is what he is.
But then they're like, try being who you're not so you can attract a woman. Or, you know what I mean? They don't know how to talk to him. I love how they but I just love, I am who I am. And he's right. He's right. And yeah, so okay, whatever. They're just gonna take a picture of him, and before they take the picture, he's like, "Oh, should I put on my checkered hat and smoke a pipe?" And
why?
Obviously confused. Yeah.
Why?
So the Sherlock Holmes look. The Sherlock Holmes look.
To attract intelligent women.
You know what though? His justification is incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
good.
was
Like
amazing.
if you said that in an improv scene, you'd be carried off stage as a hero. You know what I mean? Like that would be like his justification is so good to attract intelligent women. Now he says he's going to put on a checkered hat. Now I don't know what he means by this. A checkered hat. I'm not sure what he means. It's what Sherlock Holmes wears is called a deerstalker hat.
Okay.
And I tried Googling checkered hat, and all it is like black and white checkered hats of every type of hat, but just black and white checkered. You know what I mean?
So like chessboards.
Yeah, but Sherlock Holmes wears a deerstalker hat with like two brims, a brim in the front and a brim in the back.
Does that have any checkers or plaid?
It's kind of plaid.
Yeah,
Styling.
I think
They can be plaid.
Okay.
Charlie's not the smartest, so that's probably what he meant.
That's true. It is what he
Yeah.
meant, but I just love that a checkered hat and smoking pot. And I love the for the Sherlock look.
Yeah. Like, oh,
It is so funny. And they're like, whatever. And they take the photo. And I love that we get a nice shot of the photo after they take it. And Mac, you're too close, Mac. I put this on Mac.
It's crazy close.
Yeah, this is Mac's
No
fault.
one could look that good up close like that.
No, of course. And the flat. Like, this is Mac's fault completely.
But tell me, was it sexy? It felt
It
sexy.
felt- yeah. It was-
He looked
They'll touch it up in Photoshop.
incredibly drunk in that photo.
Yeah.
We should say he
Grotesque.
does look all kind of messed up. Like he looks kind of like he looks way
Yeah,
worse.
he does
later
have
on.
these hornet stings on his face.
Yeah, and so let's get into his profile. Okay, they sit down. They open. Dennis opens up a laptop. Let's start. Let's do his likes and dislikes. So what's his favorite food?
Oh, milk steak.
What do you think he means by this?
Oh, you've never had milk steak before?
I have not, unfortunately. No.
Oh, well, it's delicious.
I've had milk. I've had milk tofu.
It's the best. Yeah, she'll put it down. She'll know what it means.
And they're like, no, she won't.
No, she won't.
Nobody
I get
will.
so upset.
All right, milk steak. Okay, that's fine. And what's his favorite hobby?
Magnets.
Collecting magnets or making magnets, playing with them.
He clarifies he just means magnets. So what does he mean though?
Oh, magnets, Magnets.
That's a hobby?
Yeah.
Just having magnets? Is that even what he means by having? Does he have them?
Magnets.
Does he pretend he's a magnet?
I like how he just doesn't go into it. He's just like, yeah, magnets. What have you guys not?
It's so frustrating. That's like the game here. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a guy asking questions and just getting frustrating responses.
We should say too about the milk steak. They say we're just going to put down steak, and then for magnets for the hobbies, they're just going to put down snowboarding. And we get a nice little from Charlie. I don't really snowboard.
Yeah. It's not like he's like really against it. He's just like, I don't even do that. Like it's just as a matter of fact. Well, that's not correct.
All right, and what is his likes?
Ghouls.
Right, he likes ghouls, and he clarifies funny
Do
little.
not put ghouls.
Green ghouls.
Well, is he hallucinating? Are these rats? What does he think they are?
I have no idea. I don't know what that comes from. It's not even something we can really imagine and map onto anything.
But
you know,
this ghoul thing comes up again. Like this ghoul, him and ghouls kind of becomes a thing.
oh sure, totally.
Ghoul is such a great word. Isn't it?
I love it. I use it all the time. Anytime ghosts or scary things come up, I just mention ghouls.
Ghouls. It's a great word. And what is his dislikes?
Knees.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. People's knees.
My favorite quote is if you're gonna walk around everywhere, you got to cover up your knees.
Yeah, I mean, this is new. This is
so
new.
disgusted by the idea of people walking
With shorts,
bare knee.
Yeah.
It's so.
Charlie wears shorts.
We should mention that Dennis does put down travel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. For
likes, which is interesting because Charlie has never left Philadelphia.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. You're right. So yeah, his dislikes people's knees. They're fed up with this. They're gonna make up the whole thing. They don't need him, so they're getting up and they're leaving. And before we get out of this scene too, I just remember when he says ghouls, it's a visual thing, but he does this weird smile. When he says ghouls, you gotta go like ghoul, it's strange. I don't know. It's a visual thing. It's strange.
He gets super excited about ghouls.
Yeah. Funny little green ghouls, buddy.
So then we cut to Dee finding the waitress to invite her to a bachelorette party.
She was also searching.
She's searching, right. She's driving down the street here, and Ross, is this the same street where Charlie pops out at her and Dee also pops out at the waitress?
It would make sense to me because of the diary possession.
Yeah.
Both of them had access to that diary.
Yeah.
Charlie's logging in places and times.
Anthony, in a previous episode, Charlie jumped out from behind a car. He was pretending he was looking for $100 bill, and he surprised the waitress and asked her some stuff. He invited her to the Dayman play, and the Nightman Cometh. And then also Dee jumped out from this on the same street and asked her to go hang out, do a Sex in the City type of hangout. And this looks very similar to the same street, which I love that they always know to look for the waitress on this street. And it would make sense of why Dee's driving and looking and going, "Where are you? Come on." Because he knows she's going to be on the street because she always is.
Yeah,
which is very funny. And when Dee spots her, I mean, it made me laugh every single time. Bingo, bitch. Made me laugh every single time. Just Caitlin Olsen. Just Caitlin Olsen's
bingo, bitch. What's going on?
Yeah. And she just stops the car, and there's truly nowhere to pull over. I mean, I don't know what Philadelphia streets look like. This looks like a Boston street. This is how they work.
Mm-hmm.
She drove past several parking spots.
Did she?
Yeah.
She drove past the parking spots.
So she wasn't looking to park in town.
Yeah.
She was on the hunt.
And she just stops the car in the middle of the street. And she gets out, she runs over, says hi to the waitress, as if she just ran into her.
They organically bumped into each other. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you just stop in the middle of traffic to say hi to your friend.
And everyone's beeping and freaking out.
Yeah. That's a normal everyday occurrence.
Oh yeah, they were not enjoying that.
Yeah. I'd be so frustrated if I was behind that car.
Oh, you'd be killing.
And so she starts talking to them, and she's saying how Brad was saying how the wedding was going to be really poor, or
dull and boring,
or dull, or whatever. He's really laying it on.
He said our wedding was going to be dull.
Small. He said small. Yeah. And I love Dee's oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. Dee's oh man,
so good.
She figures she's going to throw her a bachelorette party, and since they're doing a non-traditional mumbo jumbo, Brad can come too.
It takes a little convincing
Brad,
for the waitress here.
Brad wants to meet her friends, and it's interesting. I don't think the waitress has any friends, right?
No, I don't think so.
But, I mean, Dee kind of laid down the pressure because she was holding up traffic. I mean, she put that all on the waitress.
Yeah, don't want to be rude.
That's right. Dee blames them for holding up traffic. That is textbook psychotic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like narcissist, like psychotic. Blaming the other person for holding up traffic is so crazy. And finally, they agree, and Dee's place at 8, and she does that like swipe again at him right here.
That arm touch.
Yeah, like an arm touch. And
What would you think if a woman does that to you?
well, yeah, she's like really like she's like not even talking to the waitress. Like she's like,
Oh yeah, she's
So
always
obvious.
looking at Brad. Yeah.
and she even says like, "Okay, Brad, nice to see you," like, and says "nice to see you" like bye to Brad and not the waitress.
Yeah.
And she runs back and she's like, "Calm down, dickwads."
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Just classic.
It's so funny. So at Dee's place, Dee gets everyone ready for the waitress and Brad to arrive.
So I like how Dee is like preparing and like getting everybody ready for their moment of the night, and she's like directing here.
Yeah, Dee seems to have a plan. It seems to be some sort of like this is orchestrated. Like this is like it's not
Yes.
organic at all. It's
She's pulling a lot of strings.
pulling a lot of strings. Yeah. And let's go. Let's run down the guest list. Okay.
Okay.
So we got Mac's mom. What is Mac's
huge friend of the waitress?
What is Mac's mom's job?
I used to look like you when I was your age.
Yeah, she wants to say that she used to look like the waitress. That's what Mac's mom is there for.
That is so funny.
Okay, so then we got Charlie's mom, Bonnie.
Nobody takes my baby boy's girl.
So yeah, she's
That was
there.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, she's there
Thank you, Bonnie.
to be like upset at Brad about like taking the waitress from Charlie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Frank. We have Frank and Artemis. We'll put them as a team. We have also Frank and Artemis because I think Artemis is invited and Frank is tagging along. Although maybe it's because he hooked up with the waitress and she wants that to come out. I think that is because she makes that come out at the end.
I think that's totally on purpose. Yeah.
And maybe Artemis is the one that's just hanging out.
Yeah, maybe she's like the third wheel.
But
To tag along.
when Dee comes out and she lays on everybody's plan here, she does just look at Frank and Artemis and just be like, yeah, okay, like do that. Oh, she even says like, oh yeah, I skipped over. We'll get back to it in a second. But she basically looks over and basically says like, keep doing whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Like just be weird.
Yeah.
Is really all they want.
Yeah, you guys are freaking everybody out. Keep going.
It was great because Artemis says, I like to put bacon bits in my hair and have them fall out.
Oh my god, we
So
skipped
I-
Yeah, we
over
skipped right over it. I'm going to start at the top of the scene. I just was running down the guest list. Now I'm going to start at the top of the scene. We have some music playing. Some interesting just like music playing. Groove is in the heart.
Yeah.
Frank and Artemis are in the fridge. We get like a rundown of the guests here, and Frank and Artemis are in the fridge, and they're playing with some food. Bonnie's drinking. It looks like Mac's mom's sleeping or whatever.
with a
And-
cigarette.
yeah.
A lit cigarette.
And Dee's in a silver outfit. This like really silver outfit. And
Very shiny.
Frank is looking for bacon bits. Frank wants to know if she has any bacon bits because Artemis puts them in her hair, and and the bacon bits rain down on him. And that's where Artemis
When they
interjects. Yeah, that's where Artemis comes in with the, yeah, it makes me feel like a Cobb salad. It's amazing.
Nobody
that.
should feel like a Cobb salad.
This is something Katie says all the time. She always says it makes me feel like a Cobb salad, like whatever, like joking around about something that makes it's good. You know what I mean? This is like a quote Katie's always like. Katie loves this quote. It makes me feel like I'm a Cobb salad. The specificity of that word of that type of salad is so funny
Right.
to me. You know what I mean? Like to be that
Yeah.
specific, a Cobb salad. And also, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, that's for me is where it comes from. The laughter comes from. Like, what could that mean?
What could that mean? It's so
I
funny.
mean, I guess you would have to try that to know.
And also the use of language, bacon bits rain down on me. Do you know what I mean? Like the way
when they bang,
the way they
like,
phrase
like
things.
all of those.
It's very like romanticizing.
Yeah, like dramatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They rain down on me. And she goes, yeah, that's great. Bring that up when Brad is here. Then the waitress and Brad show up, and the bachelorette party kicks off. So Dee opens the door here, And apparently the waitress needed some convincing. They're late. Well, D goes here. D's like, oh, really, you big old fat stick in the mud? Like insulting the waitress right away.
You big old fat stick in the mud.
And
Come on in, you guys.
She really drags it out. That big old fat stick in the mud. Like, she like really drags it out. Like,
fat in there for no
like nobody
reason.
says. Somebody says you're a stick in the mud. No one says big old fat in front of that.
Nobody. Not one person.
It's crazy.
And so yeah, they come inside. She basically shows them everyone at the party. They like look at everyone that's there, and like you can see Bonnie mean mug it.
Oh my god, she looks so pissed.
Yeah. Gives the waitress some punch, but it's not alcohol. She remembers that she has a problem with alcohol and drugs.
Yeah, I remember what an embarrassing problem you have with the alcohol.
An embarrassing problem. And she turns to Brad like, hey, did you know that she has a problem with alcohol and drugs? And I just love the way she's like,
cocaine
whoa.
and heroin. Remember when you were shooting up the homeless people and begging for money on the street?
Yeah. Like,
what great endowing. Like,
yeah.
D just like putting all these things on her. And the waitress is like even stands up for herself. She's like, "You're making all of that up."
Yeah, of course.
And then D comes back with an even better line. I was confusing you with another pathetic drunk that she knows.
Oh man,
my God.
I would leave.
Dude, I would fight somebody.
Yeah.
She laid it on thick.
Yeah, she laid it on real thick. Yeah. Can you imagine
Not
if you were like at a
sold
backstage improv show and someone was like, "Oh, I was confusing you with some other terrible improviser."
People don't say
my
that
whole
to you?
next set.
I get it all the time.
But Brad can still have a good time, so she takes him off to get a beer, and the waitress sort of just kind of looks around at everybody. You know what I mean? Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. She went with Brad to the kitchen because Brad is still fun.
Yeah, still that's another little insult.
Yeah.
And she even like takes him by the arm and like ushers him in. It's like very touchy, like it's crossing some lines, I would say.
I'd say so, yeah. So then over at Guigino's, Mac and Dennis prep Charlie for his internet date. And they're just going to stick to the game plan here, okay? They're going to stick to the game plan, but he is sweating through his shirt.
Like already.
Profusely. And the shirt is open. And he's still sweating.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues with the collar of the shirt. It's like, he would not normally wear something like this. Where did he get that?
And he looks incredibly greasy.
Oh, yeah. He looks gross.
I love how Mac and Dennis are like, you got this. Don't worry, she's gonna find you great.
Yeah.
It's like clearly this is a train wreck.
We don't usually see Charlie this nervous about anything, really, right?
No, I mean, in the past we've seen him scared about travel.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
I mean, not much else, really.
This seems like a D thing, though, to like panic and like freak out like in something like this.
Yeah.
Now, she's a lawyer, this person that he's meeting. She's a lawyer.
God.
And
yeah, we get like Mac and Dennis like prepping him with like his dating situation. Like they set all this up. I mean, I'm sure Charlie had little to no other than using his name to arrange this date, right?
So does Charlie remember his backstory?
Oh yeah, he's a full-on rapist. Like autistics.
Well, before we don't get that joke just yet in this. This is where we establish that he can't say philanthropist. So they say, "Do you remember your backstory?" And he does this look. He's like, he doesn't say no, but he kind of shakes his head no, but smiles like he doesn't even answer.
I think he's too nervous to even remember it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's like something in there, but like it.
So we're going to go through his backstory. They say, listen, you're a philanthropist, and you used to own a small business, but you gave that up to help people. And he can't understand how to say philanthropist. He's saying, I'm a and they're getting frustrated. Yeah, and then like, what is? I can't even say it. What is it? And they both yell philanthropist at the same time.
I like how this is inside of a restaurant.
Yeah, they're making such a scene.
Yeah,
And so they're like, he says like, yeah, when he says like, oh, you used to help people. He's like, what people? Like, Charlie's like,
what?
Charlie, this is frustrating Dennis, which is funny. But yeah, what people is he trying to help?
Autistics, hungry people.
Well, he says
Children.
He starts with old people, then he says children, old people, children, then he says autistics. I don't like the way he says that.
Yeah.
I put a frowny face next to the way he said that too. But then he does say dyslexic folk, which I do like. That I like.
Oh, you think that's classed up?
I think it's a little
bit?
more classed up. Dyslexic folk. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not just like saying like it sounds weird when you don't add like people after something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is funny too because Charlie does absorb some of this information, as we're going to find out later, but not exactly, which I love how, like, the list of people he helps is different when he names it again, but almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, these are the people that he's helping. He's taking this all in, and he does this awesome nervous laugh. Like, he does this, like, really awesome, just like, he's like, you're going to be great, buddy. And he's like, ah! He's just like crazy. And he breathes out, and this is where we establish Charlie likes cheese.
He's eaten them out of the rat traps before.
Oh, he's already done that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So he does have a thing for cheese.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so this is carrying on, but I think this is where it solidifies. This is what most people will reference.
I mean, he refers to like they get into it of like, how much cheese have you eaten today?
Yeah, and how. This is a good question, though. Do you guys know how much cheese is too much cheese before a date?
Any amount of cheese.
Any amount, yeah. I'm going to go with any amount. I don't eat the whole day.
He ate a whole block of cheese.
You'll be fine. Just don't breathe in her direction.
Yeah. And he says, like, when he's talking about how much cheese he ate, Mac does a quick little, it gets buried in everybody talking over each other, but Mac goes, does that calm you down?
Yeah.
He's like, why?
Yeah.
Does that calm you down?
That's interesting because he did eat one of the last few episodes ago. When the gang hits the road,
yeah,
he's got to eat those hot dogs to calm himself down.
That's right. And this is jumping forward, but remember when Charlie and Dee meet that like rich brother and sister, and they start dating them, and they're out on a date, and Charlie like needs to eat that cheese that's on that plate. He's freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think eating calms him down.
Do you guys remember how much cheese he ate before the date?
A whole block of cheese.
A block of cheese, and he goes like this, like a block.
Yeah.
George from Seinfeld mentions how he wants to eat a block of cheese the size of an engine.
Jesus Christ, like an engine block.
He does say that.
George from Seinfeld also liked to eat during sex as well.
That's right. That's right. It's like The Simpsons did it. You can be like, Seinfeld did it. Seinfeld did it. And the scene ends here with a great from Charlie. How do I look? I look handsome?
Do I look handsome?
Poor Charlie.
I
Such
know.
a
He's
train
like
wreck.
disgusting right now.
So then back at the bachelorette party, they all play a round of the newlywed game until the party dissolves into a disaster. So they're playing like a newlywed game here. You guys familiar with the newlywed game?
I think they ask the couple questions about each other.
Yeah, to see if
is
the
how
answers
game's
line
played,
up.
But they're not really. Are they doing that in this instance?
Kind of.
Yeah, I think they are.
She says it's kind of like a newlywed game. Like a newlywed game is like the husband gets asked a question or vice versa. But let's say the husband gets asked a question, and the other one, the wife or whoever else, is like supposed to be like, oh, he answered this to that question. I know him so well that he said this to that.
Okay.
You know, what's his favorite comic book? I know he said blah or something like. And then to her or vice versa, they'll say, what do you know about?
Okay.
So it's similar in some weird like way. But question one, who broke Brad's heart in high school?
Oh, that was the waitress for 100.
That's right, the waitress did. She broke his heart in high school. She feels.
I think my buzzer's broken.
I pulled his buzzer out. So. Yeah, the waitress, she feels bad about it and everything. And Dee is blown. You went to high school with her? You were in high school with us?
Wow, you are surprisingly forgettable.
She can't stop digging. It's so good.
This is a great establishment too, though, of Dee going to of the waitress going to high school with them and them not remembering her there at all. This is like we established this. This plays out. This is something that comes back. There's some crazy theory too, where the waitress is Nikki Potnick.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That story they tell about Nikki Potnick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, that's okay, but you know what? Dee also broke his heart in high school, and the waitress didn't know. I mean, the waitress didn't know that either.
I know, it's kind of an interesting thing that like comes out like it kind of like makes them both turn at each other a little bit. Like, oh,
yeah,
and it does set up later. It makes sense that what Brad's up to, and
Artemis fills us in that they both broke up with him because they said because of his pizza face. No, it's interesting that Dee knows this piece of lore. Yeah, it's interesting that Dee knows this. I mean, that Artemis knows this.
She interrupts what she's doing with Frank just to chime in with that.
I kind of love the way she does it too. Yeah. I like that she kind of like fills in that little bit of backstory.
Sassy
just
a
like
bit.
Yeah, like just to razz. Well, what does she do that for? Just to create chaos?
Yeah, I think she likes stirring it up.
Yeah. Well, all right. Question number 2: how many people in the room has had sex with the bride?
Frank chimes in.
That's right. Because Brad is like, well, me. I hope only me or whatever. But Frank says, "Whoops, over here, guy."
Over here, guy.
Which is great.
Yeah,
so
which
funny.
is like, so this is why Frank's there, I guess, to cause this.
I guess, yeah, he's a plant.
Yeah, and this is crazy. And so, yeah, that was a bad time in her life, and but then Dee spills the beans on everything.
But it's true. She's in love with my brother. They have a sex tape. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
And then Mac's mom. I used to look like her.
But not stopping. She just goes directly into give me my cigarette.
Yeah, there's not even like looks at the waitress, then looks at Dee. Yeah. But Dee didn't give her the signal. Dee's like, not yet. I didn't give you the signal. She's going like no, not yet. You do it to her. And then Bonnie, Charlie's mom,
just hucks her drink all over.
Oh, yeah, she misses her target.
Completely. 100%.
Yeah, she goes in for the throw of the drink.
Well,
it splashes
did she
all
miss
over
her target?
Dee.
I think she was throwing it at Dee.
Oh, you think she meant to do that?
Well, yeah, I think she was so drunk that she was off target. Like, she forgot what her target was. And Dee encouraged her to drink.
Yeah, you're right. But I thought, I always interpreted that, no, she knows it's Dee and she's doing it to Dee. I don't know.
That could be a thing.
She's just so drunk that she's just like, oh, Dee's like trying to do this too or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I guess
I think she got drunk and lost focus of the whole plan.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
And just assumed it was Dee.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, everybody's trying to take Charlie's girl, whatever she says there, and she splashed the waitress. The waitress gets all splashed up, and this is where Brad and the waitress are like, all right, we gotta go. They leave. Dee is freaking out.
Yeah, it is a depressing scene.
Yeah, and Mac's mom thinks it's so funny. And of course, Frank and Artemis are just gonna go get sweaty in the bathroom.
Not in her bathroom.
You know what? Yeah.
Whatever, fine. They'll use the Wendy's. The Wendy's.
Fine, go have sex at Wendy's.
Now, I hate that. I don't like go get sweaty. I don't like that.
Yeah, we don't have to hear about the sweaty.
I don't like the way that's phrased. I don't like that.
That is a weird way of phrasing it, but knowing that I'm using it going forward.
Now, Mac's mom with one of the best moments. This party sucks. That is so funny. Just have Mac's mom interject with "this party sucks."
Right. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. She's calling it.
It does suck.
It is.
She's right.
It's a terrible party because it's all built on malice.
And Charlie's mom, Bonnie, she needs a ride home.
Well, she's not getting anything, bitch.
Oh my god.
I ain't giving you shit, you old bitch.
That might be the line of the
That
episode.
made
I
me
don't know.
laugh every single time.
Every
too.
time.
Every single time.
It's so aggressive.
Like, yeah, it's so intensely delivered. Damn.
Yeah. She's such a great actor. Like she's yelling at like someone she probably likes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
But how could you do that?
But then they hear a knock at the door.
Yeah, they hear a knock at the door. So Dee's coming back there. She thinks it's Artemis and Frank coming back for condiments.
Yeah, she's not giving them any condiments, any ranch dressing or anything like that.
Salad dressing.
But it's Brad, and he forgot to tell her something, that he is still in love with her.
Dun dun dun.
And we get a great look from Dee, like a shocked, and then she does like a smirk. Like, oh yeah, it worked.
It turns.
I think she thinks her plan worked.
Yeah, I mean, somehow, against all odds, I think she's. I think Brad is obviously just seeing how desperate Dee is, and is like, oh, okay, I found my next target. Before we leave that scene, I do want to mention there was a song in the background.
Yeah, the groove my heart. That.
You do know the name of the group?
Oh no, lay it on me.
D-Light.
Oh.
D-E-E-E hyphen L-I-T-E.
Ah.
D-Light. I did not know that.
I see what they did
Oh,
there.
look at that. Dee's doing some subliminal messaging, trying to get into his head.
I know. She's trying to sow some grooves in the heart.
Yeah. That's why, Ross, whenever you're on a date, you put on Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
That's right. It works every time.
So, okay. So back at Gugino's, we see Charlie meet Jackie on his date.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you Charlie Kelly?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're Jackie.
Yes, I am. Are you all right?
Yeah, this. I was running.
Okay, because you're bleeding.
Oh shit! Is it bleeding again? I'm sorry. These are hornets things, you know. I run into like a lot of hornets in my line of work, and I get stung up like bad all over my face and stuff, and then it starts bleeding.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What is it that you do again?
I'm like a janitor. I'm a full-on rapist, Africans, dyslexics, children, that sort of thing.
I'm sorry. Did you say you're a full-on rapist?
No, no. I help people. You know what I mean? I'm a
Philanthropist?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It gets blocked up in my mouth. I don't say it no good. So. I'm a janitor at a bar.
This scene is probably, I think this is a standout scene of this episode, and probably the most of a scene that would remind me of an improv scene.
Yes.
It is so wild, and just the way it heightens and the way it moves is the game is so clear. A guy who's bad at on a date, saying all the wrong things. The game is so clear. Jackie plays a great, just straight, straight person, straight voice of reason. She plays a great, just keeping it going, not leaving, keeping it going, thinking it's weird, but keeping it going. It just, I think it's perfect scene. Ross, what do you get on Jackie?
Okay, Jackie is played by Joy Osmansky. She was born 1975 from Seoul, South Korea. She was in Mulaney, Santa Clarita Diet, Freakish, Shameless, Stargirl, and SWAT.
Let's talk about Charlie up top here. He is a mess.
He is all over the place.
I mean, just where we left him. He hasn't changed a bit.
He's sweating. He's bleeding. He looks bad.
Oh yeah, she confronts him on that. She's like, "Oh, you're bleeding."
She gives him her napkin, which he wipes the blood and gives it back.
Oh, I don't think I caught that he gave it back. I don't think I caught that. Oh my, that's so funny.
And she's just like, yeah, thanks.
Well, yeah, she sits down here and she asks him, she says, "Are you all right?" And he says, "Oh, I was running." That's his excuse for why he's sweating.
because you're bleeding.
He was,
I take it you guys don't run in dress shirts. I run in dress shirts all the time, of course.
And yes, he is bleeding, but that's only because of the hornet stings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
in his
knows,
line of work.
What he's talking about.
Yeah. In his line of work, he runs into a lot of hornets. I love the term runs into a lot. I run into a lot of hornets.
He gets stung up bad in the face, and they start bleeding. The way he's talking is so perfect.
I know.
It's like
so
almost
good.
broken English.
And she's still curious. She's like, okay, well, what do you do? You know, like, what is your job? And he almost says janitor. I mean, he does say.
He does.
He does say it, but he pulls back on it. His first instinct is just to tell the truth, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
But he pulls back on it, and we get this joke where he cannot say philanthropist, and he's saying I'm a full on, and he says I'm a full on rapist, and
Yep.
this is just like the analopist joke from Arrested Development. Are you familiar with this?
No. Tell me.
So Tobias on Arrested Development, he's a therapist, and he's an analogist and a therapist, or something like that. He's an analyst and a therapist,
God.
and they put it together.
Yeah,
And
where
he's
this is going.
he's an analopist, but it looks like anal rapist is what the word looks like. And they kind of play it to the same effect, except it's more of a visual joke, I think, on Arrested Development. But this is a very similar joke of just like a word that is so similar that's like just being manipulated.
That's true. I mean, Always Sunny has done that before with Boys. Soul.
Right. Yeah. And it's just a wordplay joke. And yeah, obviously it's a tough thing to joke about, but the way Charlie is like this thing where he adds, where he says, Africans, dyslexics, children, like, it made me laugh every single time.
I mean, it's laughable because he just goes right through it, and he's not really drawing attention to the bad part, really.
He doesn't realize
he's saying
he
it
said
as if
anything
he's
wrong.
not.
Yeah, he doesn't realize he said anything messed up.
And her reaction is just like, what did you just say?
Yeah, she's so worried when she hears that.
Which is a total honest straight man reaction.
Honest reaction.
And props to her for staying.
Yeah, she does. It's a great voice of reason. She doesn't just she questions it, and she wants to clarify, and she helps him say philanthropist. It's a hard word to say. And
well, some people.
She helps him say that, and when she says like, "Oh, you said full on rapist," he says, "Did I say that?" I love that little. Did I say that?
No. Did I say that? I help people.
And sometimes the words get blocked up in his mouth, and he don't say it so good.
No, he doesn't.
I love that. That is like such great. Like, you talk about not being able to talk well while not talking well. It's like a joke as old as time.
I'm a janitor at a bar.
He just comes out with the truth. That is like so. Isn't that kind of like
after all that?
I love it though. Like, this is not Charlie. This is Dennis. This is not Charlie. This is not what Charlie does.
Right.
Yeah. And have you guys ever met a janitor at a bar?
I mean,
a bar janitor?
No.
You mean like on Tinder?
Do they have those?
What?
No.
No, it's just that made me laugh when he's like, I'm a janitor at a bar. It's like, what?
You mean like a bar wouldn't have a janitor? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no bar would ever have a janitor ever.
Yeah, like a janitor implies you work for like a facility.
Yeah,
like you.
Yeah, like a whole building.
Like a whole building. Yeah,
like your faculty.
That is
like
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Facility management or something.
So we smash cut to the men's room as Dennis and Mac give Charlie another prep talk, and I got to tell you, Charlie is sucking ass.
Yeah, he's majorly stressed out. He's not doing well at all.
Sucking ass out
I
there
called
is
this
so
scene
funny.
halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime in the bathroom.
Like they just up and like they don't explain like how he excused himself. Did Mac or Dennis come by and grab him?
Yeah.
'Cause he's fat?
His brain went crazy for a second, and his eyes.
Yeah, you said you were a rapist.
Yeah, they're apparently listening to the whole conversation.
I know. How do they get all this audio? How are they hearing that?
They might be just at the table behind him or something. We don't see them.
Well, that's true. That could be. That would have been funny to visually.
Yeah.
Just to see them get angry as Charlie messes up.
Hey, Ross, give me your shirt.
It's a totally different shirt.
No, it's cool.
This
It's
is
fine.
so-
Just give me your shirt. You got a nice shirt.
How are you going to explain that?
This is so funny.
Podcast.
This
Sam
is
met a
such-
nice guy in the bathroom, and he had a nice shirt, and we switched shirts. He was nice.
This is such a funny concept of like the shirt is ruined. Yeah, I know. Give me your shirt. And this argument right here is so funny.
Oh my god!
And it has a
I love
beautiful payback. The next time we pick up with Charlie, it has a beautiful payback. It has it comes back so awesome. Like I like how it comes back better than this.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Dennis is not like that is true. Like how would you explain that? But also like his shirt, like he is fucked up. Like running under the dryer or something.
Yeah.
Like his shirt is messed up. He looks crazy.
That would not help if you run the shirt under the
It
dryer.
looks
Yeah,
like
you're
it was
probably right.
drenched in oil. That's what the shirt looks like.
Yeah, it's like
Well, whatever.
viciously so.
Whatever. Max, like whatever. Let's come up with a new plan. We're getting a new plan. Just make a move on her. Just wants her to make a move on.
Yes. So could we clarify for the first half of this date, we were going with Dennis's plan,
Yeah.
which is just to lie.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And now in the second half, I guess we're going with Mac's physical.
We
suggestions?
we do. I guess up at the end.
Well, Charlie
Yeah.
does agree that there's a 50-50 chance, so those are good odds.
It is not a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. He goes. He says, just tell her you want to bang her. It's a 50-50. It is not a 50-50. Like a yes and no is not. That's not the odds.
Yeah, that's not like the odds that. That's not the true odds.
It's not like
yeah.
flipping a coin. Like a person is involved.
Yeah.
You have a 50-50 shot. It's a 50-50 situation, and Dennis says it's a no situation. It's a no scenario is what it is. It's a 50-50 scenario. It's a no scenario. So Dennis says, no, listen, go out there, ask her questions, ask her about herself. If anything goes wrong, Dennis is going to come up. He's going to say he's the manager. All right, that's not that bad of a plan, I guess.
No, it's pretty good to have someone on your side as a intermediary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So then back out at the table, Charlie tries again with Jackie. And this thing about why he's late is because there was a guy in the bathroom who wouldn't give him his shirt. And he had to fight him.
There was a guy in the bathroom, and he wouldn't give me a shirt, and I was fighting him, and I was like, give me your shirt, bro, and then he didn't, and he didn't want to give it to me. It was a whole thing.
That is so funny. Like, Charlie's still thinking about it. Like, it pissed him off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
kind of
Enough to bring it up.
enough to bring it up. And, like, to change the scenario. Because first he's going to meet a nice guy who's going to give him a shirt. But now he met some other guy who wouldn't give him a shirt, so he has to fight him. It's just such a funny payoff to that joke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not even a second later, like Dennis just shows up.
Truly,
like, oh, he's already
truly
fucking up.
truly not a second later. He comes up right away and he slides in.
I wrote that. He slides in. Dennis slides in. Like, what is that move? There's definitely carpet on the floor. How did you do
It
that?
is so perfect. Like, he almost overshoots the table. It is so perfect. Yeah, Dennis comes sliding in, and Dennis is so funny here. First of all, so he says, I'm a manager here. Mr. Kelly's, a top VIP or whatever. And then Charlie sets the order from him.
Yes, my good man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will have your finest milk steak and your jelly beans raw.
yeah. He wants milk steak boiled over hard, and finest jelly beans raw. That is so funny. Like, and the funny idea, like, I love Charlie ordering from like a guy who's saying he's the manager. Like, Charlie doesn't even know who to order from. Like,
Yeah. Charles is really a fish out of water here.
that's your friend. That's not the waiter. How is he going to get this for you?
That's so true.
You know what I mean? Like, why is he doing that?
Even at the moment, I hadn't even thought of it as many times as I watched it.
And then Dennis is, when he says like jelly beans raw, Dennis is laughing so crazy. He's like forcing himself to laugh. And then friggin', this is so funny. Like, and then like an incredible improv scene, Mac comes out of nowhere with, "Hey, I own this joint."
Yep.
What a step up. Way to like up
Status.
the game a little bit.
Yeah, he has to have the status too. Like Mac can't be in a scene unless he has the highest status. So he's not the manager; he owns it. He's above Dennis.
He owns this joint.
this joint.
This
yeah,
joint.
Yeah, what owner of anything calls the thing they own a joint?
Unless it's an actual joint. Like,
Yeah.
there used to be this place in Brighton, this like cafe, like
Joint.
restaurant, and on the window it said, "I miss time." It said something like, "I miss the times when a Coke was a soda and a joint was a bad place to be," or something like that. Something like that. It said it on the window.
Coke was a soda.
So, and also with the status thing, like, not only is Mac the owner of the joint, but he also does have the milk boiling ready for the steak. Like, whereas Dennis says, "Oh, he's joking, this is not real," Mac is like saying, yeah, we do have it.
He negates like everything Dennis just said.
Yeah, he does. And so Mac makes it clear that they, while the milk is getting ready to be boiled and all that, they're going to clear out the cloakroom and they can hit it in there. And,
Wow.
And she's like, what? And
Yeah, she is appalled.
And I don't like this. This is where Mac tells Charlie to make a move, and he says "maul."
Yes, I wrote that down. Maul.
Yeah, and he lunges at her. Dennis has the forethought to slap him away. She's upset, gets up, leaves, and
she knows
this
that
is the
she's
wrong
leaving.
move. What is this? You don't do this.
You're grabbing at her breasts. What are you doing?
Yeah, like who would have thought Dennis would be the one
Telling him not to do something
inappropriate?
Like
Yeah.
and everybody, if you look in the background, everybody at the restaurant is just looking at them like, what the fuck is going on here?
And Charlie's like, "What does make a move mean?" He says that.
That's a good question.
What does make a move mean? What does
I'll
it
never
mean?
know. I don't
know.
I can't answer that.
I don't
for
know.
you.
I've never made one.
It's circumstantial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's circumstantial. I think make a move. To me, if someone says make a move, it's like let your intentions be known. Like tell her like you want to hook up or something, or make a move like say like, "Hey, like let's date" or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
no idea.
So Charlie says to them that they blew it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a blame game going on, Like, Charlie's blaming them because, they coached him to do these things and he's executing.
Yeah.
And they're blaming him because he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ordering steak, milk steak, and jelly beans.
And they're arguing with each other here for a while. And this is where Dennis lays it down that the waitress is getting married.
So, suck on that.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'll take my milk steak to go. That's so funny.
I see. Well, I guess I'll take my milk steak to go then.
Poor Charlie, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he is a stalker, and the waitress can do whatever she wants.
We shouldn't, for all that bad
We
for him.
shouldn't feel all that bad for him. But he is a little devastated here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is totally funny because, like, if you look back to, like, the first season, like, when we're just meeting Charlie, he's not that crazy. Like, he's hitting it off with people.
Yeah.
He's getting dates with people and stuff.
Yeah.
He was-
he is likable. People like him.
Yeah. He was almost...
He is kinder.
He was okay with women in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now he's crumbling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everyone, as the show progresses, everyone heightens. Like, they have to keep heightening themselves, you know?
that's
And
true.
everybody gets... They live in Crazy Town now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like where they live.
They start it nutso.
So, yeah.
Which is going to be interesting because we have 4 more seasons added to the list.
And then Mac's reaction to when Dennis tells Charlie that the waitress is getting married is just like, well, we're dead.
Oh, no. Like,
we're dead.
Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So then, at Patty's, Mac and Dennis are preparing for Charlie to freak out until Frank tells them it's fine. So we open up the scene here with Mac loading a gun.
Is that Frank's gun? Is that
I think it's Frank's gun.
bar's gun?
It looks like Frank's gun.
Does the bar have a gun still?
That's a good
I'm
question.
kind of out of the loop on that.
I don't know if the bar. I don't know. I don't know. It's a good
Oh yeah,
question.
they did keep it. Remember at the end of the episode,
Yeah,
Gun
but-
Fever, they did keep it.
But even in Gun Fever, like they're in the second time they do Gun Fever, they're like looking to get a gun and they can't. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we could assume maybe they lost it by then. But
Yeah, true.
If we're gonna call this gun anything, it's probably the Gar's gun from that episode, right?
Yeah, I think the gun from that episode though is a 9mm or something. It seems like it's a different type of handgun. This is a revolver.
Yeah, this seems like a 6-shooter.
Yeah, this is a
right?
revolver.
Yeah, this looks like a 357 or
Okay,
something.
this is Frank's little gun.
Yeah, and so he's loading loading a gun in, and Frank is telling this absurd story about Wendy's.
Yeah, some incident about like burgers and they were making a mess.
He's-
Yeah, and, like, the guy told him to clean it up. He says, "They're your hamburgers. You clean it up."
which is great.
Yeah. And
hamburgers.
Artemis is bummed out about something he did with an onion. It's bad.
Now she's not returning
She
his
won't even
calls.
talk to him.
You know what, though?
Yeah.
Mac doesn't give a shit about this.
I don't give a shit about any of this.
It's so funny. Like, that is so funny to just, like, someone's telling you a story and you just go, yeah, you know what? I don't give a shit about this.
I think I've done that before.
And, you know, this is where Dennis comes up and he's looking for the baseball bat. It's so funny them freaking out like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like arming themselves. They're preparing for Charlie to come back postal.
I love Dennis pulling out the baseball bat that like puts it against his hand, like the way he looks like
Like
I'm
he's
ready
ready
to go.
for battle.
Yeah, he's ready. And Frank tells him, "No, what are you talking about? Charlie's not upset about that. Don't worry about it. Charlie's actually giving them a wedding gift." And they relax a little
That
bit.
changes their mood. They're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's unexpected.
So then is this at Brad's place? We cutting to Brad's place?
I believe so.
So at Brad's place, Charlie finds out that Brad broke up with the waitress and it was all a scam, but decided to give him the gift anyways. So Brad basically tells him what's up. Brad opens the door when Charlie comes up here, and basically the idea is he's getting back at all these women that broke up with him in high school by getting them to agree to get married and then leaving them at the altar.
Yeah.
So he must have already.
Yeah, that's basically the whole plan.
Yeah.
And what unravels.
I do like his introduction to his plan. He's like, do you remember how people used to make fun of us in high school?
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
and
I
Charlie,
remember how they used to make fun of you.
Yeah, Charlie remembers how they made fun
Charlie.
of him. This is another thing that is a constant with the gang is they don't really remember what they were like. They think they were more status than they were in high school.
Yeah, their
delusional.
conception of like their perception of the reality of back then it has been lost.
This comes back over and over and over. How and even in the Aluminum Monster versus Fatty Magoo, there was a little of that. Where like Ingrid would be like, "You remember when they teased us?" And Dee's like, they teased you," kind of thing. Like, not me, you know.
Yeah, they have like a delusion that they were cool, but they weren't.
Yeah, there's no evidence of them being
Absolutely.
cool whatsoever. And yeah, so he's telling him how he's getting revenge, and this must have really upset the waitress. So this already happened. He did this to the waitress, and now he's doing it to Dee. And so he upset the waitress, and Charlie doesn't like that. And so Charlie gives him the box. We see the box has an H on it. It's obviously the box of Hornets.
Right. We get that little H payoff
Would
from
it-
him sitting on the couch drawing it.
Would either of you two open a box that was buzzing?
No.
I mean, it would depend. Does it have a nice little blue bow on top of it?
It's got a little blue bow and
Depends
a
if
big
I ordered
H.
some bees on it.
Well, H means honesty, so yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So then, so
Holy.
Charlie walks away, and that's the end of the
It's a holy
episode.
box.
And this actually pays off in the high school reunion. We see what happens to Brad. Brad comes back, and we'll see a
Oh
conclusion.
yeah, that's right.
We'll see what happened. So, that's the end of the episode. So I got to ask you two. We'll start here with Ross. Ross, what is your favorite character?
My favorite character is going to go to Charlie, but Dee was a close second.
Yeah.
In this one.
Anthony?
I'm gonna go with Charlie as well because I do the same thing on Tinder dates. So I crumble.
What's Tinder? Is that
You know-
Tinder is your your app of choice?
Tinder, Bumble, Facebook dating,
Bumble.
whatever's out there.
Oh, Facebook dating. Yeah. All right.
I'm also going Charlie. Charlie, this is a Charlie-heavy episode. We established a lot about Charlie, but Dee does come in a close second. Like Dee also does a lot.
She does. She's definitely hilarious.
So we all lined up. That's a trifecta.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony? What is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, I would have to say when they're asking him questions about his dating profile. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, I mean...
The building of the page. I like that.
I don't really snowboard.
Yeah, it's just like all the things.
I'll put travel.
They're just getting more and more frustrated, like trying to make him look presentable.
Yeah. It's just a simple, easy game.
How was that? Was that sexy? It felt sexy.
Yeah.
What, Ross, what was your favorite scene?
I'm going to say part 2 of the date. Like...
Yeah. I mean, I'm also saying part 2 of the date. No, I'm saying I'm saying the date when, the part 2 when he comes. Oh, you're saying when he comes back from the bathroom or before?
When he comes back. From
I'm
the
gonna say I'm gonna say
That's
before.
part 2.
I'm gonna say for me it's the first half of the date.
When they meet.
Yeah, when they first meet.
They sit down. He's sweaty as hell, and he looks absurd.
Dyslexics, children. Like it's just like. Yeah. I mean, it's a joke that you remember. It's a
right.
You know what I mean? It's like
For me, it's like that has just happened, and what happens after is just cake.
It's also great
because it's like already something great happened.
So, and what is your favorite line of dialogue, Ross?
I guess I'll be eating that milk steak to go then.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. And Anthony?
I couldn't decide on one. I had 2.
Let's hear them.
Cover up your knees if you're going to walk around everywhere.
I love that one.
And don't breathe in her direction.
Yeah.
Because how is that possible? It's just basically telling him not to breathe.
And I think I'm gonna go with it's kind of two sentences, but the whole bacon bits rain down on me. Yeah, it makes me feel like a Cobb salad. It's amazing.
That's great.
It always makes me laugh. It's something Katie and I say all the time.
I knew you were gonna go with that one too.
It's so specific. I love how specific it is.
Yeah, back to back.
It's so good.
So that brings us to our next segment, which is the IMDb Trivia Challenge. These are 3 trivia facts. 2 of them are made up by me. 1 of them is from the website IMDb. It's on that little tab if you click on trivia. And so please, Anthony, Ross, guess which one is the actual trivia fact from IMDb. Number 1, hornets don't make honey, but they do make jam. Number 2, Dennis was CGI'd into this episode. Number 3, Dee has her car back from the episode The Gang Hits the Road.
Do we answer separately or?
Buzz in with your name.
Beep beep. Buzz in. This is Anthony.
My buzzers are broken again.
Anthony, yes. What's your guess?
I'm gonna say number 3. That she gets her car back.
Ross, what is your guess?
What was number 3 again?
That she gets her car. That she gets her car back from The Gang Hits the Road.
Well, it can't be that one.
Then it's either Dennis was CGI'd into the episode, or hornets don't make honey, but they do make jam.
I mean, I don't think any of them are right.
Ross, it is number 3. Anthony is correct. Dee has a car. Right? She's driving the car from the episode the episode The Gang Hits the Road, which at the end of the episode was stolen by that kid.
Yeah. What scene was she driving? That was a Range Rover.
Whether or not this is true, this is what it says on IMDb. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. The game is what trivia fact is on IMDb, not what is true.
Okay, sure. Number 3. Why not? Who cares?
That's what it says.
It doesn't matter.
That's what it says. And you're right. You're right. She was driving a Range Rover. I thought that too, and I was like, what a strange trivia fact.
Trivia?
Now, the Always Sunny wiki has some interesting things I wanted to point out.
I gotta go there. I
don't
avoid
go
going there because I'm afraid you're gonna pull some trivia.
Well, sometimes I do. I mean, you can. I mean, you can try to.
I'm not allowed.
Yeah. So in the trivia section on the wiki, It says, this is one of the few episodes where the whole gang isn't together for a scene. Charlie's outside dealing with the Hornets when the other four are in the office, and in each scene after, only feature 2 or 3 members of the gang. Is that interesting?
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Because usually there's a big circle at the end
Yeah.
where everyone comes together, or...
It also says that this episode was filming at the same time as a Christmas special because there's a picture of the waitress and Charlie, and she's wearing the same exact thing she's wearing in the Bachelorette scene.
Oh,
and also there's a very strange thing with the last thing on this trivia thing. It says interesting video from the set, and then there's a link, and when you click on the link, it's a YouTube video that says video unavailable. This video is private.
That's
so
interesting.
I don't know what that means, what that is.
Well, it's true. It does pique my interest.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there now, and I'm going to see if I can find that link. I need to know.
So, yeah, so that brings us to our final thoughts here. Fellas, does this episode make you feel like a Cobb salad? It's amazing. Or is this episode of Nothing But Trouble? Doesn't seem to get our sense of humor.
I think it's a Cobb salad because not
Cobb
only
salad.
does it it sets up for future episodes because I believe this is the same season where they do the dentist system.
It is, yeah. We do figure out Dennis's approach.
We get
to this.
like a proper coaching, I guess, from Dennis.
Yeah.
So it kind of sets that up nicely.
Yeah, this is a great episode, and again, I think this is one of those episodes that gets a little overshadowed by the real powerful episodes of this season. Like, this season is so stacked that like episodes like this kind of.
I think it gets the respect it deserves. I mean, the dating scene from Charlie, the full-on...
That is true. I guess that is true.
Pretty well known.
I just feel like this is an episode where, like, when I do put it on, I go, oh, this is that episode. Like, I can't just recall what episode the dating scene is from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Like, D scenes, I don't quite remember as well.
Yeah.
When I look back watching this time. But I got to re-enjoy them. I thought those were super strong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and also this episode just it flies right by. Like, it's such an easy watch. It moves from one thing to the next, and it's over before you know it.
It's very quick.
I wish there was
ping pong.
I wish there was a little more for Frank to do, but other than that, I mean, yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah,
I'm okay with the character taking a sideline like that. You know,
we did just have a Frank heavy episode.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah,
he could pump the brakes.
Yeah,
he was just getting a handy under a table.
Well, he did have his hands full with Artemis. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so great. This also we kind of glossed over like how many great guests there are this episode. Like everyone gets called back.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I feel like an idiot because I wrote that at the top of my notes. Like we get like a real reunion of a lot of characters.
Yeah.
This I was gonna say, like, is this an episode that you could show to a stranger?
I don't know
because of all the guests.
I don't know. You don't because
if this couldn't be someone's first.
Not only the guests, but also Charlie and the waitress's relationship. Like you kind of need some backstory. I think.
I still think someone would enjoy it.
Oh,
though.
definitely. I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was Anthony's first time seeing it. He never even heard of the show.
Yeah. Why is it always sunny in Philadelphia and nowhere else?
I'm Ross. He's Eric.
Oh,
Let's
hey.
start over.
All right. Well, I think that sums us what we think of the episode up pretty well. Ross, what do we got going on next week?
Yeah, the next episode is Season 5, Episode 6, The World Series Defense.
So, Ross, what do you remember about this episode?
I remember a heartfelt letter written from a child, it seems, to a grown man that plays baseball.
Right, yeah. I think there was some stickers at the bottom of that.
There might have been.
I remember. I remember that. So we're gonna get some riot juice.
Oh, that's true. Maybe we'll get a sighting from the Philly Frenetic. Is that possible?
Oh, yeah. Does Charlie show up as Green Man this episode?
I think he does.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remember from this episode that they're in a courtroom over a parking ticket, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, they left
right.
their car at the stadium, the Philadelphia Stadium, right? And they got like a bunch of parking tickets.
Yep. And
Yeah.
So the car got towed, and now they're trying to dispute all these claims.
Right.
We can expect, some tough Philadelphians like hammering some people.
Oh shoot,
'Cause
we
they're
get
passionate, very passionate.
we get a callback from
We do.
the very first season with That's a Hate Crime, right? These guys are in this.
Yeah, they were defending Carmen.
Oh, that is so crazy. This is the first callback to that, right? It's gotta
It's
be.
so weird, but yeah.
Wow, crazy! It's been so long. Wow.
Mhm.
Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to watch. I remember loving this episode. I love all the defense episodes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the whole back and forth between like seeing it
Yeah.
and them like explaining it in court.
Yeah.
They'll be doing push-ups at one
Well,
point.
I was gonna
and
say one of my favorite jokes of anything like this, like
the transition.
yeah, transition jokes. Like there's even one in the dentist system where like in the story that they're telling, they're doing push-ups, and when they cut back to the real like life, they're also doing push-ups. But in the dentist system, Dennis is laughing on the phone, and it cuts
Laughing,
back, and he's
yeah.
laughing in
That
the bar.
laugh, dude, gets me every time.
Gets me.
I'll never not be able to laugh at that, no matter how dark that episode is.
So please, everyone. Anthony, before we get out of here, Anthony, we have anything to plug? You have anything to plug? Your Twitch?
Yeah, I stream on Twitch mostly on the weekends. Every Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, check it out. It's at Sternsy Gaming, twitch.tv.
What do you do over there? You like dress up like people from Harry Potter or something? What do you do?
I dressed up as Dobby once, and that's like a reoccurring theme. Like people can use channel points to make me dress up as Dobby.
Okay, cool.
All because of one thing. Like I did Dobby voice once, and people were like, "Well,
Listeners,
Oh,
we have
wow.
no point system. You cannot make us dress like anything.
Yes,
Just plain-
it'll never happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's at Sterny. That's at STURN. Did I spell that right? STURNI?
yeah." But my Twitch name is Stern Z with a
Z.
Z.
What did I say? Did I say that?
Sterny. That's my nickname. That's my nickname. That's correct.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But like, it's Stern Z Gaming.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I sometimes catch you on there, and I'll check it out.
Yeah, I've dropped in a few times. You
Yeah.
play a lot of the spooky, scary games, right?
Yeah, a lot of the scary games. I like Visage. I'll play anything with jump scares, like Layers of Fear or Outlast or anything
Yeah, the
like
spooky
that.
scaries.
Yeah, nice.
catch
A lot of ghouls.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been it took way too long to get you on here.
Oh, I know.
I had so
I
much
just like
fun
hanging out.
because this
Yeah, it was-
episode was so great,
Yeah.
and you
It
guys
was
are
fun.
great. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
me.
We'll
Well,
have you back.
thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate it, and please join us on next episode. And until then, a good day
Good day
to you.
to use.
Good day.
Always Sunny Cast is not endorsed or affiliated with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the FXX Network, or Philadelphia. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of Eric Regan and Ross Northrup. Email questions, thoughts, suggestions, corrections, or things we just plain forgot to alwayssunnycastpod@gmail.com. If you have a moment, please rate, subscribe, and review the podcast. And, as always, thanks for listening, you jabronis.